Hey everybody, so I've been putting this off because I told you I wanted to do a thing about my mom, like a grieving series maybe. So, they do a slideshow, which I need to figure out how to put that on YouTube, but it's got copyrighted music on it. So I may can just video it and maybe put, I don't know. But we got the pictures back from the slideshow, and I was going ahead, since the picture's already out, I thought, I'm sorry about that sun, I'm trying to block it. I need to rearrange how I sit. But this is, this room is a mess. Anyway, so I was going to go ahead and do a scrapbook, and I thought, well, let's talk about it page by page. Now, the reason I have been hesitant to do this series is because I never want to offend anybody. I've always been a person that, when I used to work, I could have anybody come to my desk from any background, ethnic, religious, anything, and feel welcome and that they could share with me. And I've always wanted to be that way because I feel like I can reach people that way because I'm not judgmental. But to tell my mother's story may get some people upset because there's some real snooty religious people out there. And I have just come to the term that I may cut the comments off. If there's somebody's close to me that wants to talk to me about something, I'll talk to you. But I'm not going to be shied away by the story. And also, I'm not putting down any faith by the story I tell. This is what happened during this time. Things change as far as years. Things that were done in 1970 is not done in 2020. So I'm not going to let that stop me. I felt like it's important to share this. It's important for me to heal. It may help someone else. So with that being said, I do not mean no disrespect if you do get offended, but I'm just telling my story. Okay, so the first picture is my mother and her father, and this is the wedding party. At the bottom is my grandmother. We call her Nanny Boop. She's still living. My Aunt Sandra, that's her oldest sister. My mom, my dad, my grandfather, we called him Papa Bill. My Aunt Tina, which we're 3 years apart. She's older than I am. And her other sister, Deborah. Now, as you see in that picture, she's wearing baby blue. And I almost pointed the other person in the picture that you cannot see, but is there, which is me, in her stomach. Okay, she got married in 1976. She got pregnant at 15 years old. My dad, I believe, was 18. So this is where it gets rocky. And I've used this story to minister to a lot of people. My mother and father were raised Church of God Pentecostal. He was superintendent or something over Sunday school. She was very shy, didn't talk a lot, so of course this would happen to someone like her. She'd only been with my dad. And plus, back in 1975, 76, people didn't talk about sex like they do now with their children. So that being said, the church found out what they did. The church made them stand in front of the congregation and tell them what they did. I think that's wrong. Back then, I believe they did not know what I don't think they knew what maybe they knew what they were doing and maybe not. I believe at that time they operated in fear to control people. I don't see that a lot now today. There still is some of that, but Due to her being pregnant with me, they made her wear a baby blue dress. She still has that dress to this day, and my niece has it. She actually can wear it. Not long before Mama passed, my niece was over her house and put it on. It fit her perfectly, and I thought, Mama, you love that because you can say I was that little one time. But I didn't know until I was in my 30s that on that day, my grandfather, who was a very proud, tough, was raised hard man, looked at her after he spent, which, didn't have a lot of money, spent money on that wedding and said, Cherie, you do not have to get married. I will take care of you and this baby. But she wanted to. She wanted, in her opinion, do the right thing. And so they got married. She got married on February the 8th, 1976. She was 16. And my dad was 19. And she had me September the 22nd, 1976. Now, the reason this story is important to me is there was a person on Facebook. They adopted twin girls. And both the girls were sent to the College of Charleston, had big plans to be nurses and things. So she knew the news was getting out, and she was a well-known person in management for a national nursing home system. Her husband was a engineer. So she went and put something on Facebook about kind of just saying, yeah, it's true, I'm sad and da-da-da, and my teenage daughter is pregnant. So I only knew her through her husband because he worked with me. And so I private messaged her and told her my story of what I said, if my mama took the easy road out, because when you think about it, they had to stand in front of a church, embarrass themselves and their families, had to be looked at coming down the aisle wearing a blue dress. It's like putting the A on you, adulterer, back in the day. Wouldn't it have been so easy for her to just get rid of me? To me it would, and this is not a political thing. Please do not go there. But that's the easy story to me. It would have been so much easier for her to take that golden road, to just whip it up under the carpet. Nobody would have never known. But yet she loved me enough to have me and take this hard road and make it work. And it was a rough road, but it was also a good road. So as you know, why this is hard on me is because I grew up with my mother. I grew up, that's how I would always know how old I was. She'd say, we've been married 44 years this year. I said, oh man, I'll be 44. And so we grew up together. What they went through their marriage, I went through with them. So that's the kind of relationship I have with my mom and dad. And this is the first story I wanted to tell you about my mother. And it almost did not get told because of how scared I was, that I thought people would be upset that I talked about abortion, or I talked about how the church was at that time. But I think when things like that scare you, it's important to say it because it needs to be said. And I'm not putting down no one that's ever had an abortion. I'm not putting down anybody that still believes that way. I'm just telling you the story and how I feel. And my mother's gone, and I want her story told. So, this is part 1 of my mother. And I want to say this. I've never heard my mother, in case I've got some judgy people out there, my mother's never cussed, drank, smoked, anything that she was, I would always say, you're almost perfect. Almost, but not quite. She had a little, I'll talk about that later, some of the things she struggled with. But this is part 1. So thank y'all for watching. Love you.